got a couple of paraffin stoves to show you today. The one on the right, this is from MFG Engineering. This is an original and it dates back to, at the latest, 1960. The company MFG Engineering, they got taken over in 1950, and some of these little stoves continued to be made after that. So whether they kept the branding on or took them off, I don't know. If they made them under the same branding, it could be as late as 1960. Chances are it's closer to 1950. So at filming this today, this is 76 years old. If you don't know how these work, if you're not very familiar with this type of stove, I'll briefly explain how they work. They run off of paraffin or kerosene. The fuel goes in there, you fill it up 3/4 full. You then put some alcohol in here, as in so bioethanol or methylated spirits. You set fire to that. The heat from this little fire with the fuel burning, that then heats up these little tubes, and then that creates a gas inside. It turns the paraffin to gas. Then when this goes out, you should have enough gas there so you can light this, or it will self-ignite if you do it right. It'll ignite this to give you a nice beautiful blue flame. To increase the pressure, you pump this, gives you a slightly bigger flame. To decrease the pressure, you undo this, and that lowers the flame. And that's pretty much it. I bought this off eBay a few years ago. I can't remember how much I paid for it. It wasn't a great deal. You can see from underneath, he's got a couple of issues. He's had a bit of a battering on the leg there. I guess that could be easily sorted on the vise if I squeeze him up, but I haven't got round to it yet. The washer inside is literally a washer. Somebody's put a tap washer in there because the original leather seal washer that keeps the pressure inside, I guess that went at some point. And it's got a strange valve to it, this one. When you usually move these valves in and out to increase the pressure and pump air in, they're usually a lot, what would you say, looser. With this one, he's really, really tight. And it could be a problem with the valve inside. I don't want to take him apart, so he's a bugger to put back together. He does work, but I think with the valve issue, he does need a little bit of TLC, but I don't know how to go about correcting that. That is, if it needs correcting. Is this how they was supposed to be when they was first made? With a really stiff plunger valve like that? I don't know. This instruction manual came with it as well, which I thought was rather cool. And I have wondered what's on the site now of the former MFG and Engineering Co Limited at Stanthorpe Street in Birmingham. I wonder what's there now. I wonder if it's an office block or houses. My other paraffin stove is a reproduction. This one's made in India. And this is a reproduction of a Primus stove. The whole setup's exactly the same, but this one is only a few years old. I bought this off eBay as well. It all works the same. When I was talking about the valve on the other stove, this one, this is completely different. This one's a lot freer. That's why I was wondering if on this one there's some kind of issue that makes it really stiff. If anybody knows, if you can let me know, that would be wonderful. And if there's some way I can improve this, or if this is supposed to be this way, if anybody knows, yeah, please let me know. You'll note from both of my paraffin stoves, they both got a silent cap. And that does what it says on the tin. They both work very, very quietly. There's another type of burner that you can get on these, and it sounds like a jet engine going off. They burn a lot hotter, but they're also very noisy, and I like my camping experience to be quiet. I like my cooking experience to be quiet, hence that's why I've gone for the silent cap. I forgot to mention the vintage paraffin stove. It came with a windshield. Now this is hardcore. This is solid steel or whatever it is, and it's pretty cool. It's rough and ready. What someone's done, they've put nails through there to create the ventilation holes. You can clearly see they're square, so it must have been like a square nail they whacked through, but it's really solid. If you don't know, you need the windshield to go around these, really, because when you light this, you want all the heat and the flame to go onto these tubes to heat up the paraffin inside. I'm quite inexperienced with paraffin stoves of this style. I've had this one going once or twice with limited success, and this one I've never actually got him up and running. So I think what we'll do, we'll take him outside, fire him up, and see if we can get him to work. I really wanted to go out somewhere today filming, but I think from this you can clearly see why I'm staying at home. I've already put half a litre of paraffin in him, so all I need to do is put some drops in here. It's easy to see how this sort of thing went out of favour, because it's so much easier to just light a gas stove and get him running. Right, just need to release that one. I'll put this over the top to keep that heat inside. I'm hoping you can see blue flames in there where the alcohol is heating up the tubes and getting them nice and hot. What I'll do, I'll take that off there and you can see what's happening. You can see the alcohol's evaporating and heating up. I wonder if it'll work without that on. Let's try that. It was literally about 2 seconds after I left you, and the whole thing went out because the alcohol evaporated. I need to keep a close eye on it this time. See if it can go again. See if I can get my timing right this time. That alcohol burns away really quickly, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to close that, get some pressure building up inside. Pump him a little bit. I've got nothing. No. Come back to me. It's easy to see how people have moved away from this type of stove and moved on to gas because it's so much more reliable, convenient and easier to use. Having said that, I'm determined to get this little boy lit at some point and take it out and do some really cool camping. The only liquid fuel stove that I've got, which I found to be really reliable, is this iWalker G43S. The S is for the silent cap again. It runs off of petrol. You put your petrol in there, similar setup. You put some alcohol in there, heat him up. You turn that valve a little bit, poof, you get a beautiful blue flame. I really like using that. If you want to see this little petrol stove in action and doing some really cool stuff, it's coming up on the next video.